Donald Trump just gave one of the scariest speeches I've ever seen him give. He just spoke at Fort Bragg in North Carolina in front of our service members, and it's abundantly clear from this speech and things that Donald Trump has done and said recently that he's intending to use the military as a political pawn to enforce his ideologies, his agenda, not to protect the American people, but to scare the American people and anybody that disagrees with him. So I want to show you some clips from this speech in front of our service members. But first and foremost, I want to show you some reporting on something that Donald Trump said earlier today that really reinforces this point. In the Oval Office, Donald Trump warned that his military parade, if any protesters show up, they will face very heavy force. That's the President of the United States threatening protesters who use their First Amendment right with very heavy force. In the Oval Office, Donald Trump told reporters that they're going to be celebrating big on Saturday, referring to the parade that will wind its way through downtown Washington, D.C. And he followed it up with, if there's any protester that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. I haven't even heard about a protest, but you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force. The White House, of course, as expected, did not respond to a request for comment. It's unclear what Donald Trump means by very heavy force, but we can only imagine how severe that is. And when you combine that with the speech that Donald Trump gave today, him sending the Marines into Los Angeles, him sending the National Guard into Los Angeles, and subverting the will of the governor of the state, I think it's clear what Donald Trump means. He's looking to put First Amendment use down. He doesn't want anybody protesting against him. And this speech, I think, further proved that. So let's take a look at this first clip. Again, he's speaking in front of service members here, not a political rally, service members. Have a look.
In many ways, it's tougher when they're not wearing a uniform because you don't know exactly who they are. In Los Angeles, the governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, they're incompetent, and they paid troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists. They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal law and aid the occupation of the city by criminal invaders. That's what it is. They're invaders, no different. Their position is that the rioting will not stop unless ICE withdraws from Los Angeles and ceases the enforcement of federal immigration law. In other words, they came in here illegally.
Now that is terrifying. In this moment, in this speech that Donald Trump is giving, he is goading these service members into booing the sitting governor and the sitting mayor of a major city. Sitting governor of California and Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. He said in LA, the governor of California, they're incompetent and they're paid troublemakers, and the service members boo. These are service members. They're not meant to be political. They're not loyal to a man. They're loyal to us, the people. And yet Donald Trump walks into this fort and gives a blatantly political speech. And I want to show you this response from Ron Filipowski, which I thought was fantastic to what we saw at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. He said, Trump giving a partisan political speech on a military base to active duty troops, something that George Washington said in his farewell address to the nation that a president should never do. It's just interesting that the Republicans constantly use the founding fathers as a talking point, that they are the ones in line with the Constitution and they are the ones in line with norms in this country. But Donald Trump is speaking badly about a sitting governor and a sitting mayor that he disagrees with, giving a political speech and goading service members into booing them. These are meant, again, I want to really stress because this is so important. These service members are meant to be non-political. That's the whole basis of the military, that they serve the United States, not just one person. And yet they're booing. They're booing people who are sitting in political office right now, duly elected by the people. And I also want to show you another response to that very clip from this account, which I thought was really important. Said, all week I've had a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. This clip in particular is so dark. We're in a very scary place, in response to Donald Trump getting them to boo Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. I just couldn't agree more. This is an incredibly scary place. And it's like Donald Trump looks like a dictator in the speech. He is sounding like a dictator in the speech, getting the military to agree with his every word. It is terrifying. The next clip I want to show you is Donald Trump making fun of an American city. This is the American president of the United States, and he feels like this is appropriate to say.
Within the span of a few decades, Los Angeles has gone from being one of the cleanest, safest, and most beautiful cities on earth to being a trash heap with entire neighborhoods under the control of transnational gangs and criminal networks. It's horrible.
I mean, how much misinformation can you fit into like a 20-second clip? I mean, just listen to that. Donald Trump is calling an American city where millions of Americans live a trash heap. Secretary Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security secretary, said something else, calling California and LA specifically similar language, using similar language to describe Los Angeles. But this is an American president describing an American city as a trash heap. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, I think this further proves that Donald Trump does not care about all Americans. He's not interested in serving all of Americans. He's interested in serving Americans that agree with him, and Americans that align with him, and Americans that'll do his bidding. But if you're in a city like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, all of these different liberal cities that Republicans love to pick on, well, Donald Trump will call it a trash heap. And he will send in the military, send in the National Guard if there's any disruption to his agenda and what he wants to do. It really just doesn't get more dictatorial than this. I want to show you one more clip where Donald Trump talks about liberating Los Angeles. Have a look.
They have it in Europe, too. It's happening in many of the countries of Europe. They don't like it when I say it, but I'll say it loudly and clearly. They better do something before it's too late. Very simply, we will liberate Los Angeles and make it free, clean, and safe again. It's happening very quickly. The one big, beautiful bill, you've heard about it. We call it the one big, I was on one of the television shows, I think, Deface the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Deface the Nation.
It really is hard to fathom that we're hearing this from an American president speaking at Fort Bragg, a beloved fort here in the United States with service members in the backdrop. He's basically giving a rally speech, a political speech, slamming the media, slamming different Democrats, slamming liberal cities. It is disgusting what he's doing. He should be talking about the military. He should be talking about their sacrifice. Instead, he's talking about his own grievances, his own problems with what's going on in the country. And this quote right here was especially concerning in my view. We will liberate Los Angeles. And it seems like Donald Trump's definition of liberate, as he has said before, separately from this moment, is we're going to send in the National Guard, we're going to send in Marines to inflame the situation and have military control over the city. And Donald Trump is already saying that these National Guardsmen and women are going to be here for 30, 60 days for no reason. There is no reason why the military should be in Los Angeles right now. And yet Donald Trump views this as him liberating it. It's almost like Donald Trump is speaking as if there's a war going on. We're going to liberate the city. We're going to set them free. He's insane. This is insane. I mean, let's just be, the media, a lot of folks on the conservative side, they like to normalize Donald Trump in many ways, make it seem like, oh, it's just Donald Trump. We cannot fall into that trap. We have to recognize how strange this is, how abnormal, how there's no precedent for this, how Donald Trump is doing the exact opposite of what our founding fathers had wanted and advocated for. And he's using the military to do it, whether it be, hey, we're going to shut down protests, or we're going to get the military to appear to be on my side. They're going to boo Democrats and cheer me. We are in a very, very dark moment in the United States. I don't want people to forget how weird this is, and I want to stress how dangerous this moment is. National Guard in LA, while Donald Trump uses the military as a political pawn. It's disgusting. So look, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like and comment. I really want to know what you think about this story. Share this with anyone you think needs to see it. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.